Greetings and welcome to another edition of Learn IT with Mr. P. This is one of my favorite classroom exercises when I tell my students that Mr. P doesn't mean protocol, but with computer science, especially in IT work and cybersecurity, the letter P often stands for protocol. So, computer scientists, IT people, we love our acronyms. We use them all the time. And when you work in information technology and you work in cybersecurity, and you work in programming and related fields, you have to know what these acronyms mean because people banding them around all the time. So getting comfortable with them is really going to be helpful to your skill set. So here are some of the most common ones you're going to encounter when working with computers and information technology and cybersecurity. So IP, Internet Protocol. This is the foundation of which all data is transmitted on networks. Most people are familiar with the term with the IP address. This is a unique number that's assigned to every device on the network, whether it be a printer, a server, a laptop, a workstation, a phone, whatever device is. And they're going to have numbers that are going to go from 0 to 255, what's called an octet. And you're going to have four of them. It's going to look like this: 255.255.255.255. It doesn't mean period. It doesn't say decimal point. We just say dot. So 255.255.255.255. Again, that's what an IP address looks like. TCP means Transmission Control Protocol. So when you want to make sure that data goes from one place to the other across a network, that it's done reliably. So if a piece is missing, it can be reassembled accurately at the other end by being retransmitted. TCP takes care of that. It's very common when you see IP and TCP that they're combined into TCP/IP. Written that way, TCP/IP. It's the entire set of protocols that are involved with all kinds of network communications. One of the things I teach my students that you might be heard of is something called DHCP, or Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This is a service on the network that gives an IP address to every single client when they attach the network. So if you're going to an internet kiosk and your laptop is connecting to that free Wi-Fi, it's getting an IP address from a DHCP server. It's also going to provide what's called the gateway and name server address as well. So when you're connecting to a network via DHCP, it's going to assign you an IP address, it's going to assign you the gateway address, and it's going to assign you the name server. Otherwise, you'll never be able to communicate over the internet. POP, Post Office Protocol. I like this one. It's responsible for when you're receiving emails from a server to a local client. All right. So if you're using a program like Outlook or a Thunderbird or some other email client, it's going to normally use POP to get the emails from the server to your local device. We commonly see it called today POP3 because that's the most commonly used version. So POP means Post Office Protocol. POP3 happens to be the most commonly used one today. There are other well-known P acronyms. I'm going to give you a sort of a laundry list of some of them right now. This is not exhaustive, but SMTP, Simple Mail Transport Protocol. So when you use POP to get email, SMTP is the other way. It sends emails from your client up to the server and out onto the internet. User Datagram Protocol, or UDP, that's usually seen when you're doing streaming services, music or videos or something where you don't have to ensure that every single packet gets there exactly as it was sent. LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, that's for using information on a database somewhere. HTTP, every time you use a web page, it's going to use Hypertext Transport Protocol, HTTP. You're going to see that sometimes in an URL, HTTPS, which means Secure Hypertext Transport Protocol, very commonly used. And PPP, a point-to-point protocol, when you're connecting two devices to make sure that they're transmitting data reliably. Sometimes they'll use what's called point-to-point or PPP protocol. Sometimes P, though, is not protocol. And that's a distinction you have to be aware of because you don't want to make the mistake of saying something is a protocol when it's not. And again, I'll give you a laundry list of some of these examples here. PHP, Hypertext Preprocessor. That's a language that's used, a scripting language used by web servers. Sometimes you may have heard the acronym LAMP, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. It's all of the pieces that go together for building a modern web server that uses the Apache server software, the Linux operating system, MySQL, which is a database, Access protocol, program, and PHP, which is the scripting language. PDF, you may have heard that as a portable document format. That's an Adobe document creation. It allows documents to be used to be reliably faithful to how they were when you created them so that they don't get reformatted, that the images and the text looks exactly the same when you get it from your one person to the other. PGP is pretty good privacy. It's a security suite essentially. So when you are using it, you get an encrypted message, so nobody else can pry it to see what you're sending back and forth. PNP means plug and play. When you plug in a piece of hardware via USB or put a card in your computer, PNP means that the operating system will recognize it and install the proper drivers. So again, P is not always an acronym, but most often P is a protocol, an acronym for networking over TCP/IP, DHCP. P then means protocol, but not always. So again, please don't forget to leave your comments, like, and subscribe. Any concepts you want me to learn more about, I will be happy to describe them in another video. Thank you very much. This is Mr. P.